Hey guys, welcome back to CM Ricky's Interviews, and today I'm going to be doing a Ducktales character tier list. Um, let's get into it. Ducktales Season 3 is off to a great start. We're on episode 6, episode 7 is coming this Saturday, and they haven't announced any new episode titles after that, so maybe they're taking a break, or maybe they just haven't uh, came out with the titles yet, but let's start off. Let's not start with Huey just because he's a main character and I don't want to talk about him right away. But let's talk about Lena, who is an A tier character. She's had a great character arc, and she's had almost more character arcs than normal main characters. So she's a character, maybe not S, but A. Um, Her mom, Magica Dispel, is a good character too. So I'm gonna put Magica also in A, just because she's a great villain. Um, yeah. Then we have Donald, who I think is a B tier character. He's never really gotten a character arc. Um, I wish that in Louis 11, Don Cheadle came back to sing that song that Donald sings, but he didn't, so we can't really complain because it's still a good song. But next, and he really hasn't gotten a character arc, and I don't think he ever will. But he's in more than the original DuckTales. Then we have Burger Beagle, Big Time Beagle, and Bouncer Beagle, who I think are okay characters. They're not good, really. They're okay. They're one note, cheesy little kid characters. Um, I'm gonna put Ma Beagle there too, just because she's not really a step up, but she is better than them, but not as on the same tier as Donald. But Burger Beagle's better than Ma, and so is Bouncer. But Big Time is just annoying. Louis is an S tier character because season 2 was his season, just like season 1 was Dewey's and season 3 is Huey's. But Louis is just a great character. He started off lazy, but then he realized that he has to work for his fortune, like Scrooge did, and I think that's a good character arc for Louis to have. Then we have the Moon People. I don't remember his name or her. They're husband and wife, I think, but again, they're flat note characters. They have some good jokes, especially in Moon Invasion, but they're not really good characters. Then you have General Lunardus, who I think is an A character because he's a great villain, probably the best villain of season 2. Um, and that's with the Glumtales episode. Um, but anyway, next we have Huey, who I think hasn't top A tier, hasn't really gotten his season yet, but you can see that they're kind of giving him his character arc so far in the first 6 episodes. You can kind of see it, but normally their character arcs don't really kick into the last 10 episodes. So next we have Gyro, who's played brilliantly by Jim Rash, who I thought um, in Astro Boy, which is kind of Huey and Boyd's episode, it was really Gyro's. Um, so I think he's a B tier character. And speaking of Gyro, the Bulb, I think, is an F character just because he's not really a character. He's a machine, but don't call him a bad machine or, he'll go all crazy. But so Gyro and the Bulb, they go and be an F tier. Next, we have Storkylees, who I think Storkylees and Duckburg is one of the better episodes uh, of season 2, and but he's only a B tier character. He's not along the lines of Lena, uh, Magica, and those guys. But fun fact about Lena, actually, Kamiko Glenn plays her. I think that's how you pronounce her name, and she also plays Penny Parker in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Next, we have Gladstone Gander, who I think is a nice little character, but not really a great character just because I think they haven't really explored him that much. I mean, his episode, The House of the Lucky Gander, was a good episode, but it didn't really focus on him that much. And then they bring him back for cameos like in the Shadow War, and he was good in Moon Invasion too. Maybe have him a little more in season um, 3, but that one gag in Moon Invasion where the triplets and Webby are posing, and then they look and then You know what I'm talking about. If you've seen that Moonvasion episode, which, if you're a Ducktales fan, you should watch. Gold, I think, is an A character. Top A, not as good as Huey. He's a great character. He's funny. Keith Ferguson gives a good performance as him. And Glomtails had the best theme song makeover for all of them. Like they did another theme song makeover for the Duck Knight Returns and Astro Boy, which were really only titles. But it was funny because you could tell it was cheap and cheaply put together. Next we have Darkwing Duck, who top A tier. Duck Knight Returns is the all-time best DuckTales episode. Just because I think that's not Jim Sterling. I think that's Drake Mallard. So if they're gonna, I don't know with the whole Negaduck thing if they're gonna bring Negaduck back for season 3, or that's setting up a reboot show. And I hope Jim Cummings, if they do a reboot show, I don't really want Chris Giannopoulos to voice Darkwing Duck. I don't want Drake Mallard. I want Jim Cummings because Jim Cummings gives a better performance. But Jim Cummings is probably just going to be Negaduck if there wasn't one. And next we have Gizmo Duck / Fenton, who I thought was great in. I thought he was great in the Astro Boy episode, and it was a good episode with him. Scrooge is S tier. My favorite DuckTales character, David Tennant, gives a good performance. David Tennant's just a good voice actor. Next we have Duckworth, who I want to put him in the good tier. So I will, but he doesn't really get. When he's in an episode, he's only in it for like a minute, which I wish they wouldn't do that. I want him to go on more adventures with the family. His latest episode was Louis 11, just a brief cameo again. They need to explore him more, maybe put him in more episodes, with the family. And then next we have the librarian F and Owlson F. They're just flat note characters. Glumgold's secretary and then the librarian. They're all goody. She's a goody two shoes, and then the librarian is just kind of a whack job who's not really a fun, compelling character. And then we have Tenderfoot, who F tier. He's only in one episode. I don't know why they included him on this list. But then we have Mrs. Beakley, who she's not as in many episodes as Launchpad, but I do think she's still a tier. You know what? I'm gonna put Magic Hub in the B and Lunaris top B tier just to clear some space because they're not all in the same line as. But next we have Dewey, who I think is a good character, better than Donald and better than Lunaris, but I don't think he's definitely my least favorite of the triplets just because he's annoying. But anyway, Launchpad, who is not annoying, they kind of give him the dumb thing, but he's not annoying at all. And in Double O Duck and Only Crashed Twice, he was hilarious, and it was a great episode with him. Next, we have Goldie, who's voiced by Allison Janney, who, if you know Disney trivia or whatever, she voices Peach, the starfish in Finding Nemo. B tier, uh, better than Magica. She goes right there. Next, we have Penumbra, who is voiced by Julie Bowen from Modern Family. Julie Bowen gets a lot of voice work with the Tangled the series and all the Ducktales. She's in 5 episodes, but she's an okay. You know what? She's a low BT. Mark Beeks is kind of the annoying billionaire, but he also belongs on the B tier. Webby is another annoying character, but one done right. Not as good as Darkwing, but an A tier. Next is Roxanne, who she's just a newscaster, so she's gonna go in the top F tier. Manny's interesting because he's in quite a few episodes, but what really made me not really like the character, which in Louis 11 when he's like, we still have the 11th one. I thought they were gonna bring in Darkwing Duck, but they brought in Manny, which was kind of disappointing. but he's still a fun character who belongs in a. But she's a good character. Last is Della, S tier. Della's just a great character. I like how season 2, when she was in an episode, she'd be up in front and be a main character. But now that she's a regular, in season 3, they kind of just make her a minor character, but still a main character, like Beakley and Launchpad and Donald. So there you have it. There's my ranking, for the tier list. Are you excited for the newest episode on next Saturday? Do you think there will be more episodes the Saturday after that? Or do you think they're taking a little break? Share your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching.